2010, the president launched our country's first comprehensive national HIV/AIDS strategy. It called on the nation to work together to halt the epidemic, and it inspired a collective response to HIV.
It led us to really focus on increasing the proportion of people who successfully move through the stages of the HIV care continuum. And it led us to address the intersection of HIV, violence against women and girls, and gender-related health disparities.
The strategy also called on all sectors, from health and housing to justice and education, as well as the business community, faith communities, philanthropy, the media, and advocates, to align and coordinate their efforts.
Since its release, stakeholders from every sector have used the strategy as a roadmap. Important progress has been made, but still, much work is left to be done.
Today, it's clear that the next phase of this work will require an even sharper focus on delivering effective, evidence-based services to those who need them most.
Gay and bisexual men of all races and ethnicities.
Black women and men.
Latinos y Latinas.
Youth.
Transgender women.
People who inject drugs.
In the U.S. South.
To guide our efforts through the year 2020, the Office of National AIDS Policy, working with federal agencies and communities from across the country, has updated the strategy.
The vision and goals of the original strategy remain.
But the update integrates changes rooted in advances we've made and lessons we've learned since 2010.
To move forward, the update offers steps and actions to improve our collective response.
Widespread HIV testing and prompt linkage to care to people who test positive.
Support for people living with HIV so that they can remain in care and adhere to treatment.
Universal viral suppression to all persons living with HIV. And full access to comprehensive pre-exposure prophylaxis, otherwise known as PrEP.
The update also includes 10 indicators we will use to measure progress toward achieving the strategy's goals.
This is a national plan, not a federal plan.
This is our strategy.
This is our strategy.
It's all of ours.
This is our strategy. This is our time.
Learn more, including specifics, on the action steps and indicators at AIDS.gov.
It's hard to believe, but it's now been more than 3 decades since the first cases of HIV and AIDS were diagnosed in the United States. For many Americans, those early days of the AIDS epidemic were marked by fear and by stigma, by how little we knew about the disease, by a lonely fight to be seen, to be heard, even to be treated with basic compassion. Times have changed. Prevention, treatment, and care have saved millions of lives, even in the world's poorest countries. Testing and access to the right treatment mean that being HIV positive, once perhaps a death sentence, can still mean a chance at a healthy and productive life. But our work is far from finished. 1 in 8 people with HIV still go undiagnosed. Only 3 in 10 people with HIV have suppressed the virus in their system, lowering it to an undetectable level. And this disease still affects different ages, races, sexual orientations, and even different regions of the country in disproportionate ways. That's why this is the first administration to release a comprehensive strategy on HIV/AIDS. And that's why we are updating it for the rest of this decade. It seizes on the rapid shifts in science and policy as we've learned more about this disease. It calls for widespread testing, full access to services that reduce the risk of acquiring the HIV virus, and guaranteed access to regular doctor appointments. And it focuses on making sure that every American, no matter who you are, where you live, or how much money you've got, can get access to life-extending care. We've come a long way in the fight against AIDS, and we can't let up now. For those whose lives are still at risk, and for those who didn't live to see this moment, let's keep working for an AIDS-free generation.